Hey, and welcome to season 2 of the Confidad podcast. My name is Dan Tinquist, founder and CEO here at Confidad. And season 2, I'm real excited because we're basically going to take my entire course and give it to you for free within the podcast. If you want to jump in and get in the course finish it within 40 days, then we can talk about that. But over the next several months, we're going to be unpacking the things that I have taught my clients about what does it look like to show up as the dad that your kids need. Not just the dad that you want to be or the dad that you kind of have always envisioned yourself to be, but knowing your kids well enough to know, how do I show up as the dad that my kids need? There'll be 3 parts to each episode here in season 2. We'll start out with mindset work. I teach all of my clients to work on their mindset and to every day remind themselves of what is true. But what's better of telling you to do it than just doing it and leading you through that exercise? So every day you have no excuses. You jump in, hop in the podcast, and do it with me, reminding yourself what is true. Then I'll move into a moment of equipping, giving you the nuts and bolts, the tools to move through fatherhood in a really powerful, intentional way. I like to think of fatherhood as a giant, heavy bag that is kind of awkward to carry sometimes. And the tools and concepts and things that I give you will be like putting handles just in the right spots of that heavy bag of fatherhood so that you actually can carry it and carry it with others, not just alone, but with others. And the last thing is empowerment. I want to empower you to be that dad, to show up for your kids and to remind you that this is your job. This is your role. This is the burden you get to carry as you raise your kids into healthy, interdependent, confident adults. So let's get going. Mindset work. Remind yourself this: you are the only dad your kids get. Whatever role you fill, adoptive dad, bio dad, stepdad, foster dad, whatever that is, granddad, you're the only one that gets to fill that role. There's no other person on this planet that will ever replace you. So say that. I'm the only one. I need to do it well. Remind yourself that providing for your kids isn't just about money. Money's great. It's fantastic. It helps us do the things we need to do, eat food, get clothes on our back. But provision is more than money. It's about showing up for your kids emotionally, spiritually, relationally, physically, and financially. Provision is more than money. And you get to do this. Say it with me. I get to do this. It is a privilege to have children. There are so many people I know that wish that they could have kids. And look at us. Sometimes we sit and complain about having too much to do or too many kids or too much going on to live our life. And yet, here we go. We get to do this, and we get to sacrifice. We get to lay down our life, put our priorities aside. Yeah, we need to take care of ourselves, but put our priorities aside and take good care of our kids, which often means getting out of the way so we can do that. All right. What does it mean to make home the safest place? The whole reason I started Confidad is because I have this deep burning desire for home to become the safest place for every kid in this country. If home is the safest place for them to dream, for them to fail, for them to find out who they are, it's a very powerful gift that they get, not just in like personal identity and discovery, but in becoming a interdependent, confident adult as they enter into the world. We're going to equip them with skills and all the things that they need to execute adulthood well, but not just in the doing, but in the being. That they would show up for life in their relationships, in their studies, in their work. They would show up with such quiet confidence because they had home as the safest place. We still need coaches. We still need teachers. We still need pastors. We still need all those other supporting adults that help with the village, that help our kids grow into healthy, confident, interdependent adults. We need a village to raise them well. But when home is the safest place for them to fail, take risks, dream, succeed, celebrate, that is a beautiful foundation for the skill building that comes along with becoming an adult. So what does it look like to have home be the safest place? It looks like more than just loving your kids. Every kid needs to be loved, and they need to know that they are loved. But oftentimes when we say, I love you, the lived experience of the child does not match the words coming out of your mouth. We hear things like love is patient, love is kind, love is slow to anger, abounding in grace and forgiveness. So if that's not what your love looks like, then it's hard for your kids to believe you when you say, I love you. They go, I know you love me, but I don't feel it. Maybe I feel loved, but there's this other gap, this other thing that makes my life feel incomplete. Though we may never have our kids feel complete, that's fine. We can move in the direction of them knowing they're loved and feeling it by how we see them, by how we know them, and how we hear them. Okay, see, hear, and know. When we see, hear, and know them so well, oftentimes we don't even have to say I love you because they're like, yeah, I know. When I was having a bad day at school and you asked me what made me sad today and you made space to listen and not judge me, but just listen and hear what was going on, I felt heard, and that feels loving. Or when you know that you know your kids so well that in a social setting, you come in and you kind of guide them through a struggle with friends with this kind of like inside, not an inside joke, but like inside lingo of like, I know my kid is struggling in this moment and I'm going to help them in a non-awkward way work through it. Once you get through that and you come out the other side, your kid can go, I know you love me because you know me so well. You helped me in a situation when I couldn't even ask for help and you came in. And being seen. Isn't that like what every single adult is trying to do in their life? I'd say that like most of us pursue career or pursue a profession, pursue a degree, pursue relationship, whatever we're pursuing that's outside of ourselves. A lot of times we're doing that so that we can be seen or we can be heard or we can finally be known and belong somewhere. What if we create that in our homes? What if we create that in such a powerful way that our kids know that home is the place they belong, at least for a time? We don't want to go into codependency. We don't want to push in that direction at all. But we do want to move our kids in that direction of saying, this is the place you belong while you're growing up, while you're becoming an adult. And here you are seen, here you are heard, and here you are known. And when we do those things well, we track them. When we work with them day in, day out with each of our children in really small windows, 5 minutes a day, 3 times a day of the system and a process, it's really pretty simple to track. When we do that over time, weeks and months go by and your kids start to feel like home is safe. It's the safest place. Indeed, I'm going to run to my parents when I get in trouble, not from them. I'm going to run to my parents when I'm struggling with identity or I'm struggling with my friends or I'm struggling academically and I'm not worried about feeling shame and guilt and like, oh, I have to perform for my parents. They love me. They see me. They know me. I don't have to perform or show up. I can just be who I am in the struggle, in the celebration, in the strength, and everything in between. And my parents are there alongside me. My dad is there alongside me to help me grow into a strong and confident, interdependent adult. What a gift. What a gift we get to offer our kids. I'll remind you of this truth. The life you're living today, the culture you have in your family today is exactly what you want it to be. The choices, attitudes, efforts, everything that you've done up to this point has created the life that you have. If you don't like it or you want improvement, it's going to require action. It's going to require change. And guess what? It's up to you. Like, you have the power, you have the control to change the trajectory of your life. If you are living week to week in parenting and just struggling and suffering to get by, there's a better way. It's hard, but so is living week to week. Choose your hard, right? You get to do this. You get to take steps to create a family culture, not only that is filled with joy and depth of relationship, but that is meaningful. It serves the world. It isn't just self-serving. It's something that you can be proud of, and you just say, guess what? I'm a Tinquist. That's what we say. We're Tinquist. We work hard. We try hard. We're kind. We work hard to be funny. We forgive. We don't expect perfection, but we expect extreme ownership, right? All of those types of things we get to create in our own families as we go along. So may I empower you today that this is your role. This is your job. You got to show up for it. Many times we men just show up for work. We show up for our jobs and we say, I'm providing for my family. I'm providing for my family. It'll be okay. And then you come home and you're giving nothing but fumes. You've given all the best of what you got to your profession, and your family's getting the leftovers. Sound familiar? Doesn't have to be that way. I'd love to teach you how. Keep tuning in, keep him coming back to the podcast, and we will continue to unpack what this looks like day after day, and would love to have you be a part of it. Please subscribe, like, share, all those wonderful things so that more people can be empowered, equipped, and reminded of what is true in fatherhood. Just a quick little plug, coming up in January, we're going to be working people through a family culture framework for the beginning of the year. You know how to set your business up for success at the beginning of the year. You have quarterly markers and metrics and all these things and goals. We're going to do that with you and your family, so that 2025 can become that year where you start investing little bits here and there, 1% better every day as you show up for your kids, show up for your family, and you start building a culture in your family that you're proud of. It's possible. We can do it all together. So, here we go. Here's to you, feeling equipped and empowered in your fatherhood. And there's a community of people we're building here that wants to help you on that journey. I hope you'll join us. All right, we'll catch you tomorrow.